Hey, this is H1. We're going to be running it back with another episode talking about chess knowledge, chess wisdom, and chess understanding. Today we'll be discussing a miniature game. The white pieces, his name, I don't know if these are masters or grandmasters or not, but the white pieces, his name is Matthias. And the black pieces, his name is Savar. I'm probably butchering the names, but hey, it's okay as long as we get the chess principles at this game. This game was played in 1985. This was in Malmo, Sweden, and the event was it just says here Malmo, and this was the sixth round in the event. And yes, the title should be Castling on Opposite Sides in Chess Declares a War. Let's get into the segment right quick so that we can learn chess knowledge, chess wisdom, and chess understanding. Like I said in the beginning, man, let's just get into it. In the beginning of the game, we got these simple moves that was played: e4, e5, knight f3, attacking the pawn on e5, knight c6, not attacking, but defending the pawn that's on the e5 square. And then after bishop b5, black decided to be like, you know what? I don't like your bishop being right here. You're either gonna have to decide if you want to either capture the knight or go to bishop a4, or go somewhere on this diagonal. But usually in this opening, this is the Ruy Lopez, and the Ruy Lopez was initiated after bishop b5. Now a6 have been played like, let me see on my computer right quick. This position has been played 88,000 times, and this a6 variation has been played actually more. It says 97,717 times. And at this game, Matthias decided to take the knight on the c6 square. After taking the knight on the c6 square, usually players do d takes on c6, and after the move d takes on c6, we got kingside castling. And you're probably wondering, hey, h1, usually when I do this opening, isn't this just a free pawn? And I didn't know this for a very long time when I started playing chess, when I was going against the Ruy Lopez. But if this knight captures this pawn on the e5 square, then black can just do queen d4, attack the knight, and attack the pawn. And in this moment, this is a fork because white cannot defend both pieces. After you move the knight, you get the pawn back. So you're not losing a pawn. And that's why most players with the white pieces usually castle on the king side. And just to give you a note too, once the bishop captured the knight on the c6 square, then this opening became the exchange variation of the Ruy Lopez. After kingside castle by Matthias, then we got the move queen d6, and yeah, we moved the queen, and I think the plan is somewhat castling on the queen side since we're already trying to move the pieces away from here. And after the move d3, and like I said, we got bishop g4, pinning the knight to the queen. Now this knight can't move, and now we're gonna have to do some moves like knight b to d2 or queen e2 and some weird stuff that we're gonna have to do. After bishop g4, we got the move bishop e3, and you know, we're just developing pieces right now, going through the opening theory. After the move bishop e3 by the white pieces, then Savar decided to castle queenside. And now castling queenside declares a war to your opponent. And it declares a war because now both sides is castled on the opposite, right? So the white pieces is castled on the king side, and the black pieces is castled on the queen side. And in this position, both players knows each other's plans. And their plans is to attack each other, either by pawn storming each other or some sort of piece attack. And the only weakness in black's position right now is that white has two targets. And white, if they try to do a pawn storm, is going to reach those targets first. These pawns on a6 and c6 are targets for the white pieces. The main plan is probably to do b4, a4, b5 sometime soon. And for the black pieces, none of these pawns are pushed, so there's no real target. So they're gonna have to do a few extra moves just to reach these pawns on the h2, g2, and f2 squares. Let's see what happens in this game right quick. After queenside castling, we got knight b, d2, c6, and then rook b1, already saying, hey, my plan is to just push that pawn up. Push up b4, a4, b5. That's my simple plan. There's nothing so complicated about chess. It could be as simple as that castle on the queen side, and then realizing, oh snap, this is a war. Let me just push up the pawns up there, and then figure out what's going to happen next. What is my opponent is going to do to stop that simple plan? And so Black decided to play knight e7, and then just going along with it. b4. How are you going to stop my a4 and b5 push? What's going to happen? And then +2, I got knight c4 right in my back pocket, just in case if you want to do something crazy. And that's a threat that can kind of get me out of a lot of stuff once things pop off. After the move b4, then Black decided to play knight g6, h3, and then bishop e6. And then after bishop e6, we got the move a4. And it's kind of simple. This bishop was attacking the a2 pawn, and I wanted to push up this pawn anyway, so why not just push it to a4 and then threaten b5? Black decided to get out of the way of this knight right here, maybe, and just go to queen d7, or set up this sacrifice on the h3 pawn. And like I said before, these pawns that are pushed up can be targets for attack, and Black's only choice is to do a piece attack in this position, because clearly white is already there to demolish or just break up this pawn structure that is going on the queen side. And in this position, white did mess up. I'm not gonna lie. Matthias played d4 instead of just continuing on with the plan. Probably just doing, what is the computer saying? Well, what was the best move in this position? Doing queen e2, but we're not computers. We just do d4. Why not? What's gonna happen after doing d4? After doing d4, Black played bishop d6, and now the position is somewhat better on the Black side. Somewhat better, even though I still think that maybe, just maybe, white has a little bit more flexibility. But hey, I understand why the chess engine is favoring Black in this position. And it wasn't by that much. It was like 0.1. And even now it just flatlined to 0, 0, 0. In this position, most people would like to favor the two bishops instead of the two knights. But it really doesn't matter when you're being attacked. And white is a lot closer to attacking this king on c8 than Black is attacking this king. But if this position opens up in the center of the board with having two bishops, it can get pretty hectic really fast. And so after bishop d6, we got the move b5 of what we always wanted to do. And after b5, we got a takes b5, a takes b5, right? Just gonna set that down lightly. Since some people don't like me throwing the pieces, I'm just gonna set it down lightly. Just one piece. And then we got the biggest blunder of them all, e takes d4. Why is this a blunder? Well, by the computer, the best move was bishop takes on h3, this sacrifice, because you really don't have time to be considering other captures. And this move was pretty slow, right? And you're gonna realize why, especially after a move like rook a1. Why is rook a1 played? Well, simple note, this rook is planning on just going to rook a8 to deliver checkmate to the king on c8. And that's one big weakness of this king being at c8 and not taking the extra time of doing king b8, right? What does Black do in this position? They just do king b8. They're still losing though, which is weird, especially after the move knight takes on d4. What is going on here? Well, what's going on here is that this a file is open. If I get my queen on this a file, we're set, we're done. We're still attacking the c6 pawn, so we're threatening to capture that right now. At this moment, we can capture it, and if they try to capture it back, then we can get our queen to b1, and yeah, the game is over. We're attacking this knight, not knight, but we're attacking this bishop at e6 just if things get crazy. we got this sacrifice maybe in the future. And yeah, black's attack that was supposed to be going on the king side is not happening. And white has all the initiative in this position. So what really happened? We got pretty much all that we wanted without sacrificing pieces, which is pretty cool. Let's go over our evaluation right quick. We got everything that we wanted in this position for the white piece. Well, Matthias got everything that he wanted. We didn't sacrifice any pieces. It's still equal. Development, I guess you could say that that's still equal, right? I guess not really, because we got extra time on our attack. So yeah, they're clearly not fast enough to kind of reciprocate what we're doing. And they don't have any counterplay whatsoever. Our king is better. Our king's safety is good, even though they have 2 bishops. They missed their mark to capture or sacrifice on the h3 square. But, you know, it is what it is. We got more space just because we got the whole A file. In our pawn structure, it's the same. It's equal. It's equal. We got the same pawn islands. And even though these are double pawns right here, they're not bad double pawns. They're only bad right now is because we're attacking on that side. And yeah, this is a good situation. Attack our opponent with no risk at all whatsoever. Like, who wouldn't want that? And what happened was after C takes on B5, now there's checkmate in 7. What is the best move for the white pieces? I'm gonna let you figure that out while I just maybe just walk around, you know, just pace myself at this moment. Why not? Or just let me just get a drink of water, because it just seems like the right thing to do, because most of y'all is probably not pausing at these moments when you should be improving in chess. But if you're just here for the entertainment purposes, then just skip like 10 seconds. Yeah, I drink water loudly. Who cares, right? Who cares? I'm pretty sure most of you do too. Okay, after C took on B5, then you had to see this sacrifice on the A file going to rook A8. What reason is there to sacrifice on this square? Doesn't the king just capture back on the A8 square? No, not at all, especially since I'm bringing my queen into A1. Now I got my most powerful piece going in to attack your king. And you're probably still thinking, well, the king could just go back to B8, which it did happen in this chess game. But you probably didn't see this move coming. Queen A7, checking the king. If the king moves to C8, then we got checkmate in one move by just going to Queen A8. But you're probably thinking, why not just take the queen? In this position, black resigned, but we're gonna go over why not just take the dang queen. King captures on A7. And if you didn't notice, on this G1 to A8 diagonal, we have a bishop. And we have a double check too. And we gotta do the right double check. We can't capture on B5 and ruin our whole position, but we have to go to knight C6. By going to knight C6, now if the king moves to A8 or A6, rook to A1 wins the game. And yes, they're gonna sacrifice both of their bishops, right? But it's still gonna be checkmate no matter what, and black cannot get out of this good checkmate. Even if they go to king A6, let me just show you right quick. Rook A1, they sacrifice both of their bishops. You're gonna take both of them, and yeah, that's checkmate. This bishop is on this long diagonal, so that's why the king can go to B6, and it's just ugly. Black doesn't even have time to take this knight back. This knight is just chilling, being attacked. That's how you want to get down on the chessboard. This is how you want to play. So play like Matthias. Good job, even though this is a old game and you're probably, I don't know, like 50 years old or 60 at this time. I don't know. Good job. You're on the H1 channel.